Okay, the quadratic formula. H is a very standard way of solving quadratic equations that yields solution almost every time, as long as they are in fact solutions. So let's have x equals to minus b plus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Well, it looks kind of cumbersome, but it's really just a generalization of the completing the square procedure. So let's just have the general form. Plus bx plus c equals to 0. Well, remember the completing the square process. Firstly, eliminate the coefficient of a by dividing, coefficient of x squared by dividing everything by a. So we end up with x squared plus b over ax plus c over a equals to 0. And as in completing square, we remove the last term to the other side. So x squared plus b over ax equals to minus c over a, since we subtract c over a from both sides. And then we add the square of half of the coefficient of x. So coefficient of x is b over a divided by 2 gives us b over 2a. And then we square it. So b over 2a squared. And obviously we have to do it to the other side as well. Now, as you can see, this part is a perfect square, where x plus b over 2a squared, and on this side it's slightly more complicated, plus b squared or 2a squared is 4a squared, and to add these two we have to make the denominators the same. So in this case the denominator will be 4a squared, so we times 4a by this, and we times this by 4a as well, and we end up with x plus b over 2a squared equals to minus 4ac, because c times 4a over 4a squared plus b squared over 4a squared. And to combine the two, x plus b over 2a everything squared equals to b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Next step, we have to square root both sides, equals to b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. And remember that the square root of 4a squared is in fact 2a. So x plus b over 2a equals to b squared. So make sure you remember that this is in fact positive and negative because it's the square root. Minus 4ac over 2a, and we just have to shift the b over 2a to the other side. So x equals to positive or negative b squared minus 4ac over 2a minus b over 2a. And we just have to shuffle it around a bit, and we end up with negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. To apply this formula, it's very straightforward. Just remember the standard form. ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. And if we compare any equation to this standard form, we have 2x squared plus 9x plus 4 equals to 0. You can see that in this case, a equals to 2, b equals to 9, and c equals to 4. Plug numbers into the equation. So we have x equals to minus b is 9, so minus 9, plus or minus b squared minus 4 times a times a times c. So times everything divided by 2a, so 2 times a. And x equals to minus 9 plus or minus 9, 9 squared is 81 minus 4 times 2, 32 over 2 times 2, and x, sorry, it should be 2 here. So x equals to minus 9 plus or minus 81 minus 32 is 49 over 4. So x can be two numbers. Firstly is x equals to minus 9 plus 7 over 4, which gives us negative a half. And alternatively, x can equal to minus 9 minus 7 over 4, which gives us minus 9 minus 7 is minus 16, so minus 16 over 4, x equals to minus 4. So that yields our two solutions. But so as long as the equation comes in the standard form, it's quite straightforward. You pull out a, b, and c and punch them into the formula. If the equation does not come in the standard form, then there are some manipulations required to convert it into the standard form. So let's have an example. Let's say 2x squared equals to 7x minus 2. One thing we have to do is that we turn one side into 0 and move everything to the other side. So in this particular case, we can accomplish it by subtracting 7x minus 2 from both sides, which means on this side we have 2x squared minus 7x, negative times negative is positive, so 2 equals to 0. And here we have our three terms of a equals to 2, b equals to negative 7, and c equals to 2 again. Insert them into the quadratic formula we had earlier. X equals to negative b, since b is negative 7, so negative 7 gives us 7, plus or minus negative 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times 2 over 2. So a is to 2a, so 2 times 2, x equals to 7 plus or minus 49 minus 2 times 16 over 4. So x equals to either 7 plus 33 over 4, or x can equal to 7 minus square root of 33 over 4. 33 is not a square number, so you can just leave the answer in the third form. Let's have a look at the example. sometimes it will come out a little differently. So let's have, say, x squared plus 9x equals to 2x minus 12. In this case, we can shift everything to the other side once again. So minus 2x minus 12 minus 2x minus 12. So we have x plus 9x minus 2x plus 12 equals to 0, which gives us x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals to 0. Obviously, you can tell that the two factors of 12 will be 3 and 4, and it will give you 7, but for the sake of quadratic formula, we can still go through them. So in this case, a equals to 1. So whenever a coefficient is missing, it's just 1. Now b is 7 and c is 12. Once again, we punch everything into the, we insert everything into the formula. X equals to minus 7 plus or minus 7 squared minus 4 times 1 times 12 over 2 times 1. So x equals to minus 7 plus or minus 49 minus 48 over 2. So, well, it gives us two solutions, minus 7 plus 1. So 49 minus 48 is 1, square root of 1 is still 1 over 2. Or x equals to minus 7 minus 1 over 2. So x equals to minus 6 over 2, which means x equals to minus 3. Or x equals to minus 8 over 2, which means x equals to minus 4. These are quite straightforward, but sometimes it may not be apparent that the equation you receive is quadratic. So for example, x equals to 2x plus 8 over x. Despite how it looks, this is in fact a quadratic equation because we can simply multiply both sides by x. And we end up with x squared equals to 2x. Apologies, in regards to last part, the camera ran out of power, so I had recharged. Now let's continue on. So we have x equals to 2x plus 8 over x. This doesn't look like a quadratic equation, but it in fact is. We multiply both sides by x. We have x squared equals to 2x plus 8. And once again, we just have to shift everything onto the other side. So let's have x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals to 0, since we subtracted 2x plus 8 from both sides. Now, as you can see, this is the standard form where a equals to 1, b equals to negative 2, and c equals to negative 8. We just have to plug them into the quadratic formula again. X equals to, b is minus 2, so minus 2 is positive 2, plus or minus 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times minus 8 here. So positive 2, apologies, over 2 times 1. So x equals to 2 plus or minus 4 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times negative 8 is negative 32. So plus positive 32 over 2, and x equals to 2 plus or minus 36 over 2. In the end, we have two possible solutions for x. X either equal to 2 plus 6 over 2, which means x equals to 4, or x equals to 2 minus 6 over 2, which means x equals to minus 2. And here are our two solutions.